Hello to everyone! I really hope you've had a wonderful week so far. Let's skip the small talk for a moment and get down to the issue of the day, which is guaranteed to brighten up your day even more. Tyler Perry has just become a billionaire according to Forbes' most recent projections. 50-year-old Perry, who claims to have been homeless and a poor-as-hell high school dropout before finding success as a playwright, is credited with becoming the first African-American to operate his own production company. Investing in real estate and Perry's 330-acre filming location are some of the ways he attributes much of his success to the necessity of owning oneself. In an interview with Forbes, he stated ownership affects everything. According to the journal, Perry has made more than $1.4 billion in pre-tax income since 2005, putting him in the Billionaires Club and predicting his inclusion in the Forbes 400 in the near future. In addition to his 2 planes and mansions in Atlanta, New York, Los Angeles, and Jackson Hole, Wyoming, he has spent some of his fortune on real estate acquisitions. Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, was one of his investments and is now the most prolific site for Black viewers to produce content. Originally founded in 2006, the business relocated to its current site 5 years later. Purchasing the Atlanta studio land for $30 million, Perry invested $250 million in its construction. As a result of its rapid growth, it has now surpassed the size of the Warner Brothers studio in the Burbank, California, which it shares a site with. When Perry owns a film studio, he'll be even richer since he'll get more money back from each film. "The lights are mine," he informed Forbes that he owns the sets, "so that's the point of contention. My profits are larger since I own everything." Perry owns all of the stuff he creates, which means he has a $320 million back catalog of movies, television episodes, and plays. More than 1,200 episodes of television shows, 22 movies, and at least 24 plays are owned by the New Orleans-born producer. According to Forbes, that tremendous back catalog allowed him to secure a $150 million a year deal with Viacom to produce at least 90 TV episodes a year through 2025. Aside from that, Perry possesses an additional $300 million in liquid assets, including a $16 million share in BET Plus, as well as $40 million in real estate and toys. Born into poverty in New Orleans, the actor's life is a classic rags to riches narrative. He joked with Forbes, "I love when people claim you came from humble beginnings. This implies that you were poor as hell." On his climb to the top, Perry said he had no mentors and had to learn on the fly because he was brought up by an abusive man who was not his father. Perry told Forbes, "You have to understand, I didn't have any mentors. My father, uncles, and mother are all complete business illiterates. I lament. No, I didn't go to college for business. My entire education has been a work in progress." In New Orleans, he worked at the Windsor Court Hotel, where he would sneak into the annual National Association of Television Program Executives Convention. As he sold automobiles and worked as a bill collector, he began to compose scripts. Known I've Been Changed, a narrative of child abuse survivors, was his first stage production. He raised $12,000 to hire a community theater venue and put on the show. While working on the lights and selling snacks at intermission, Perry was forced to live in his car for 3 months to generate enough money for rent. Oprah Winfrey became a fan of his legendary character Madea after seeing it on television. Before making a single film or television show, Tyler Perry made $100 million in theater ticket sales, $20 million in merchandise sales, and $30 million in video sales of his performances, according to Forbes. When Perry tried to walk down the street without being accosted by people shouting "Madea, Tyler Madea," she claimed that "I arrived in Hollywood and no one knew what I was talking about. Nobody knew who I was or what my reputation was." It took him 14 years and 11 Madea movies with Lionsgate until he finally called it a career in 2019. After more than $670 million in box office revenue, he has regained control of the films. In addition to Oprah, $2.5 billion, rapper Jay-Z $1 billion, and Kanye West $1.3 billion, Perry has now joined the ranks of America's billionaires. Perry, on the other hand, does not hoard all of his wealth. As reported by the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Medea's inventor is known for his substantial donations to the Atlanta community. to help the elderly in his hometown of New Orleans and Atlanta. He paid for their groceries at 44 Crozier locations and 29 Winn-Dixie locations in April. He also contributed an entire vehicle to an Atlanta women's organization that distributes hygiene items to those who are homeless in the summer of 2018. Perry reportedly volunteered to cover Rayshard Brooks' funeral expenses and the college tuition for Brooks' 4 children. In June, an Atlanta police officer shot and killed Brooks, a 27-year-old man. If you enjoyed viewing the show, we would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to it by clicking the button labeled subscribe. Make sure the notification button is activated so that you are kept abreast of all the newest videos that we upload.